If you've ever wondered if there's a noticeable difference between the new Nars Natural Radiant Foundation and the cult favorite Nars All Day Luminous Foundation, today is the day that you find out. Hey girl, welcome back for another video. It's your girl Jensine, aka Jungle Naps, and today we're gonna do a wear test between two Nars foundations. When the new Nars Natural Radiant Foundation came out, I was really curious to see how it compared to the All Day Luminous. What was the difference? They both promise 16-hour wear and to be kind of like that dewy but like also semi-matte kind of finish, and it's just like, okay, well, which one is better? Which one, you know, lasts, or which one's for oily skin and which one's for dry skin? So I just figured what better way than to wear both of them on my face at the same time and see which one holds up better. So both of these foundations are the same price. They retail for $49 at Sephora, and they do have the same weight. It's 1 fluid ounce, and so, you know, when you look at this, you might think this one has less, but they're actually the same exact amount of foundation in here, and they seem to have kind of like that same NARS consistency where if you leave them to sit for a while, they will kind of separate. So on the bottle, it does say to shake well, so you must shake them up, you know, before each use. I will say I've worn each of them on their own. This one, the Natural Radiant Foundation, definitely has a thicker consistency and like goes on matte, and the All Day Luminous has more of a kind of like sheer watery one, and it's even better applied with just a brush. Now when I looked on the NARS website, they said, oh, you can just apply it with your fingers, you don't need that much, you need like 1 pump, but personally, I'm somebody who likes to use either a brush or a makeup sponge to apply it. I'm not really like a fingers kind of like foundation person, but if that's you, then do you, boo. So let's talk about skin prep. I did quite a bit of prep off camera. First off, I like to use my Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base. This is a moisturizer and primer in one. Makes your makeup go on really, really smooth. And then for my oily areas, I use the e.l.f. HD Mattifying Balm in my forehead, my nose, and my chin. And this is something new that I've added to my routine. As some of you guys have noticed, I always complain about my smile lines. My foundation always breaks up around them, and I end up just having to like spot touch all the time. So I got the Clarins Instant Smooth Perfecting Touch, and what you do is you take a little bit and you just kind of dab it over your smile lines like that. You wait a few minutes till it dries, and then you put your foundation on. I've used this about 2 or 3 times, and it's been doing really, really well at holding on the makeup to that area. Your smile lines won't disappear, of course, but you'll notice that the makeup won't separate on them. So yeah, let's go ahead and I'm gonna zoom you in and we can get started on the foundation wear test. All right, so I'm shaking the All Day Luminous up. I'm gonna put it on this side of my face, and I have to let you guys know I'm still trying to decide if I want to keep this foundation. I've worn it a couple times since my review, and although it's nice, it's not a bad foundation. It just doesn't like wow me, you know? So I'm like, I don't know if I really want to keep it, but I know a lot of you guys really, really, really love this. Just to let you know, as far as my application, I'm going to be using my Kat Von D foundation brush, and then my makeup sponge from Pure to just kind of like dab in, you know, touch up any areas. And I will be cleaning off this brush when I switch to the Natural Radiant on this side. Okay, so just to let you guys know, this is in the shade Macao. I think I forgot to mention that before. Okay, so the brush works really, really nicely with this foundation, and you do get better coverage with this brush method, I find, and you use less product. Also, some of you guys might have seen that I got this foundation brush last month, and I really, really love it. So if you were wondering for an update, it's bomb. So as you can see, here is the All Day Luminous, and here is my face just bare. What I do like about the All Day Luminous is it kind of keeps the like points where my face is like naturally luminous. As you can see, the high points of my cheeks and all that. Let me go ahead, clean my brush off, and then we can apply the Natural Radiant. Now, personally, in the past, when I've worn the Natural Radiant foundation, I did find that it seems to have like more coverage when you use the same amount. Like when I put 2 pumps of this, I feel like it has more coverage. This is more of like a natural dewy, but I'm just imagining, you know, if you have pigmentation or anything, your skin is like less than perfect, you probably have to use a lot of it to really cover or, you know, conceal, use any kind of correction on your face, which is not a bad thing, but you know, just saying. And this shade is Macao as well, if you guys are wondering if I'm using the same shade. I am. Okay, so this is what both foundations look like. I have not set anything, but honestly, they almost look the exact same. The only thing I can see is that the Nars Natural Radiant has slightly more coverage than the Luminous side over here. Which is very, very interesting. They both have like the same kind of finish. The luminous dewy side, you know, on both, which I really, really like. But part of me is like, if I can get more coverage for the same amount of money, I'm gonna go for more coverage, you know what I mean? And I like the thicker consistency of the Natural Radiant. But you know what? Let me go ahead. I'm gonna finish up my makeup, see how everything looks all put together, give you my first impression, and then of course, I'm gonna come back with a wear test at the end. All right, my dear, so here is the final look. To me, like I said before, both sides look almost identical, even with the mirror when I bring it up close. I mean, I can't tell a difference, but we will see as the day wears on. So let me know if you've tried either of these foundations, how do you feel about them? And if you've tried both, which one do you like better? All right, well, I will be back at about the 7-8 hour mark, and I'll show you guys how this is all holding up. So after about 10 hours of wear, I totally thought I was gonna do this for like 7 to 8 hours, but I ended up wearing these foundations for 10 hours. I feel like I've got a really, really good sense of both properties, and I'm really intrigued. So the Luminous foundation is on this side of my face. Now I do have to say, this side definitely looks less oily. It is definitely luminous and like a dewy look, but I'm not like oily. My skin doesn't look oily, you know what I mean? So that's interesting because, you know, although this foundation was actually a bit more like watery consistency, it does look like dewy but matte at the same time. And when I touch it here, I'm not seeing anything transfer onto my hands, which is great. Now, when we take a look at this side here, the Natural Radiant foundation over here, you can see it really has me looking dewy, but like that oily dewy. So, you know, especially on my forehead on this side compared to the other side, it's a lot more, you know, oily looking. It hasn't gotten so bad to the point where I've had to touch it up or blot or anything, but I haven't really been in warm weather, so I can't really attest to how it would hold up during the summertime, you know? But because I'm oily combination, I'm like, damn, it does look beautiful though. I do have to say that. It looks gorgeous. I am also noticing slightly more like blurring action from the foundation compared to the All Day Luminous. Like in the All Day Luminous, you can just like see everything on my skin. There's no blurring, there's no nothing. It's just like, hey, this is my skin. And this side, like I said, more pigmentation, more blurring, and you do get way more like a strong, dewy, radiant look. Now, as far as color, they're exactly the same, guys. So that's really great. I mean, you know, I can't even notice where one starts and the other finishes, which I'm really loving. As far as my verdict, as far as which one is better, honestly, I just have to say, it's probably going to be your own opinion. If you're a really oily person, the natural radiant one might not be good for you unless you use a mattifying primer and you bake, and really use a strong setting spray that's going to hold the oils at bay. Now, I will say I do like that the Luminous one is a little bit more matte and it is transfer resistant. This one is not transfer resistant, the natural radiant one. I did have to go over it with my translucent Derma Blend powder to stop it from transferring, because I felt like when I was out, you know, on my jacket and stuff, it just kept smearing off, and I really didn't like that. As far as what the foundation looks like, I really like the natural radiant one. I just think you need to work with it appropriately for your skin type. If you're really oily, you need to do some things to control it, and if you're dry, then this is probably going to be like the best one for you. As far as the All Day Luminous, it's not a bad foundation at all. It's pretty good. I'm just somebody, I like a little bit of some blurring action, and you know, my skin is fairly good. I just would like some pores to be blurred, some fine lines to be blurred, you know. I don't think that's too much to ask, especially when you're talking about a $49 foundation on both sides. So that's my verdict. I like the natural radiant one, but I understand that more people might be partial to the All Day Luminous, and if you like that one, hey, it's all good too. Let me know which one do you think performed better, looking at my face, this side, and this side, or if you can't even decide because you like both. If you haven't already, don't forget to check out my review on the Nars All Day Luminous. It includes a wear test in sunlight so you can see all of the goods. And also be sure to leave me some video suggestions down in the comments. As always, I love hearing what you guys have to say. I love you, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!